great town. What a great place. I don't know where the downtown is, but gosh darn, the Pontiac name is fantastic. I got a truck coming at me right now, not in my headlights, but off to the left. However, I'm going to tell you one thing. This is going to be another off night for you guys. I'm in the middle of my car right now. I'm in the beautiful van, Van Halen car. I quote the Van Halen. I don't know, couldn't come up with a better name. But maybe Galileo, Van Galileo. There we go. But we got something going on for you tonight. We've got a bunch of stuff to talk about. Fascinating stuff happened this weekend. I can't tell you everything, so it's going to have to be up to Mr. Mark Sweetman, who is your host. Please welcome Mark Sweetman.
Hey! Get rid of that. Okay. Thank you very much. Hey, Andy, hold on. Let me get you back on here. Nope. That wasn't what I meant to do. Let's try it again here. Nope, that still isn't. Hold on. I'm going to try one more time here. Shoot. How about this? There we go. All right, we got it. Right.
Okay, cool.
This is much easier when we had somebody that did that without appearing on camera. So, you're in Pontiac?
I'm in Pontiac, beautiful Pontiac.
I was born in Pontiac. Name a street, I'll tell you where you are.
I'm on Orchard Lake.
Oh, well, that's easy. That's too easy. Orchard Lake, are you headed east or west?
I'm headed south. I'm going through West Bloomfield to get to 696.
All right, then you're not in Pontiac. Orchard Lake is east and west in Pontiac. It curves in Keego Harbor. It'll curve to the south. You're probably past Keego Harbor then. You've probably already passed, if you're in West Bloomfield, you've probably already passed Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I know my
old town. I know where I'm at.
Just for a Pontiac Trail and Orchard Lake met. So.
Oh, sure. That's where the old Comedy Castle started. That's the original Comedy Castle. If you look to the left there, as you're going south on Orchard Lake, there is a CVS drugstore right at. That is where the Comedy Castle started. Not in the CVS. They tore down that building and built the CVS drugstore, but that's where the Comedy Castle started. Back in 1979, wow. Back in 1979, a full 45 and a half years ago now.
Wow. So they did have cars back then.
Yeah, they did.
They had cars back then? Okay.
Andy, you're only 2 years younger than I am. Calm down.
I know. Okay. I'm just throwing that out for you.
Okay. I get it. All right. Anyway, so that's my old stomping grounds. In fact, I was out there with my son about 3 months ago, and I was showing him all the places. We used to ride our bikes, and that was before when I was growing up, we had at least one kid a year die from a bike accident, and at least one kid a year drown out there because all the lakes that are out there.
Oh yeah.
And he said, "Wow, that's a lot. Couldn't they do anything about it?" I go, "They did do something about it. That's why you don't hear about kids drowning or dying in bike accidents anymore." When we were around, they said, "We got to do something about that." So
yeah.
That's why it doesn't happen anymore. But I've got at least people before I graduated college, I knew at least a dozen drowning victims and a dozen bike fatality incidents. Wow. I got hit by a car when I was 14. I just happened to live through it. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you manage to do that? Was it just on the road or was it what?
Good doctors. Oh no!
I mean,
how did I manage to get hit? I thought you meant how did I manage to survive? No, I was riding my bike and a guy in a Camaro comes. It was over a hill, and by the time he saw me, he was already in the air, right? And by the time he sends us, he skidded once his wheels hit the ground again, and he lost control with the skidding, and so he went off to the side where I was and hit me. And you know what? Here's the thing. If Sam, 1-800-CALL-SAM or Feiger Law or Mike Morse or any of those guys had been around back then, I wouldn't have been a comic. I would have been on Easy Street.
Yeah.
I mean, I did survive. It ended my football career, but I could still play basketball and baseball, but I couldn't get hit anymore on the football field without having, because I really jacked up my back pretty bad, especially down near my I can't remember the name of the butt bone, but whatever that one is back there. Pelvis, yeah. Anyway, enough about me. That's neither here nor there. I want to get to Susan's poem. So if there's anything else you need to tell me.
I'm not holding anything back. It's just I'm out of the road.
I already told Jason you and Sam hadn't joined us for our pre-show confab, but when we move the show from Mondays to Tuesdays, I don't know if you've noticed this before. You'll notice it from now on, now that I'm telling you. But she doesn't make it because that's the night she rehearses with the Livonia Civic Chorus.
Oh.
Yeah, we have some talented people in this family, so she's she goes and sings. She sings second soprano with them.
That's cool. That's great. I never knew she was singing for him.
What's that?
So how long has she been singing for him?
Since 96, I think. 1996.
Wow.
So, yeah, I remember because she was pregnant for Raphael when she started singing for him. Anyway, so let me get to the poem. What's that?
Okay. You gonna do the poem now?
Yeah, she's not here, so I'm not going to single screen it. You can we'll just watch your reactions to the poem as I read this.
Oh, okay.
Today in Massachusetts, Today in Massachusetts, in a train freight car miscue, a man became trapped in coal, needing hours-long rescue. Evidence abounds that Maduro tampered with July's election. Gonzalez appears to be the winner, but he may need some protection. That's Venezuela. She didn't mention that. I will. Oh, she does in the next line. I'm sorry. Here we go. The opposition's presidential candidate won because he's the best. The prize for Gonzalez in Venezuela is a warrant for his arrest.
Nice.
That little preview to what dictatorial governments will bring us here.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Meanwhile, President Maduro's plane was seized by the DOJ, then moved from Dominican Republic to Florida, USA. A federal judge in Georgia ordered Trump must stop the song Isaac Hayes, hold on, I'm coming. The estate said it is wrong. Now, that story I did hear about, and I heard about Maduro's plane being captured in Dominican Republic by the Justice Department. So that's the news that Susan came up with us today. Kind of interesting. Right. Let's get the boys out here so I want to talk about that. Trump's being denied all the songs that he wants to play for his campaign stop. So here's our friend from New York. And you know what? We already got all the he's Jewish jokes out of the way before we went live, so that we can dispense with that. Here he is, Sam Greenfield, ladies and gentlemen.
That Rand McNally tour of Pontiac was riveting.
I try and do my best for you.
People aren't signing up now to listen to the show. They never will.
Oh, yes.
I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at the numbers. They're going down. Pontiac at one time, oh my God, it was just the General Motors ruled the town. There was only General Motors plant. Now, just outside of Pontiac now is the Chrysler headquarters, but they were down in Highland Park when I was a kid. And but we had four. We had Fisher Body, we had GM Truck and Bus, we had Pontiac Motors, and there was one more. What was the other one? Fisher Body, Truck and Bus, Pontiac Motors, and down. I think it was International Parts, International Repair Parts, or something like that. But anyway, between those four, every kid on my block had a dad or mom work at one of those places.
Wow.
Oh, except my dad. He sold furniture, but he sold furniture to all those places. Everybody, hey Dad, how come you always buy a Pontiac? He goes, I'll start buying a Toyota when I see the Japs coming into my store.
Oh, nice divan.
Hey, let's get.
It's from the J.D. Vance collection.
Yeah. Let's get from Ypsilanti, Michigan, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Jason Grant. Hey, there he is. Oh, wait a minute. Where's Jason?
I mean, who cares?
Okay, all right.
Let's look at that.
Hey, did you guys know Ypsilanti was mentioned on the late night show with
Yeah, you told us.
No, actually, it was mentioned on God, if I remember it.
You told
What's
us
the
last week.
political show? What's that? With
It
Jon
was on-
Stewart?
Yeah, it was on. You told us last week about that, so it must have been
I
last week.
did. I must be losing my mind then. Okay, all right.
But you
I
know what?
didn't
Behind
It's
Jason
contagious,
there,
Andy. I
behind
know how you
Jason, I
feel.
just gotta say, you know what that looks like? It
Yeah,
looks
you-
like the stand-ins for Dustin Hoffman, and
Anne Bancroft.
and
Isn't that
Bancroft.
Summer
Oh.
of 42?
It looks
Summer
like
of 42. Sam
oh,
is a winner.
God,
Sam is you've won. Sam gets 1 point. He leads the board right now.
Jennifer O'Neill
Summer
Yep.
of 42. I
and
knew.
Lucky Horny Boy.
And that's
Yes.
exactly his name.
Yes.
He's listed that way on Wikipedia. Yeah.
Very
Wow,
funny.
that's good.
I tell you something about that movie. It was then and there that I was a confirmed heterosexual. That was the movie that confirmed my heterosexuality.
Well,
This is
you
how
can-
old I am.
Right.
That
Yeah.
happened to me when I saw the orgy scene in Solomon and Sheba with Yul Brynner.
You are old.
I
No,
just
I-
laid down. I laid down on the floor of the theater and whacked away.
That's very funny. I just
there,
whacked
there
away.
you go. You know,
That just sounds like.
yeah,
Gina
so we're
Lola
gonna-
Brigida.
Oh
Gina
yeah.
Lola Brigida. And I'm going to tell you something. Looking back on, you know that George Sanders committed suicide, right?
Yeah.
George, the fake politician.
No, George Sanders.
Oh, George Sanders.
Yes.
I thought you said George Santos.
And his suicide note was, frankly, I'm bored, right? And I
Yeah.
always think of him in Solomon and Sheba playing like an Egyptian something or other. And I thought, this might have been what put him over the edge. Just
Oh, very funny.
either that or
Yes.
being married to Zsa Zsa Gabor. One of those two things. Just absolutely.
All right, we got Richard Benjamin up there now. Is that Richard Benjamin?
That's Richard Benjamin
With a
Good
bra.
with a bra.
Yeah. Goodbye, Columbus. What is that?
So close. You missed
Yeah.
by one. Portnoy's complaint.
Oh, okay. Got
I'm
it.
sorry, judges. We're going to have to give Mark a demerit. So we got Sam ahead by one. Mark is now behind. There you go. But the bra still has. Wasn't Richard Benjamin a fantastic comedic actor, though?
Yes.
I mean, there was something about him how he could just pull off a smirk without being an asshole about it.
I'll tell you a movie where he played an asshole. It's the one with Frank Langella, and I can't remember the actress's name. She died. I think she was like in a relationship with Neil Young.
Not Carrie Snodgrass, was it?
Yes.
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 And Neil, of course, just sucked all the life out of that.
Yeah, and but he was such a bad guy. Now there's Anne
Yes.
and Dustin.
And doesn't Anne have that enchanting look on her face? I mean,
She always
Ah.
did. She always
Diary of a Mad Housewife.
oh
Yes.
boy.
That's what
and
you're
he was
talking about?
such a bad guy, Richard Benjamin. When he wanted his wife's attention, he'd go, Tina,
No, God.
like that. He was a dick, and so
But-
she gets in a relationship with Frank Langella, who's this really handsome, guy who
Yeah.
couldn't care less about her, but he's seductive. And so, and Richard Benjamin was not. Oh, I'll tell you what he was great in: The Last of Sheila.
God, I haven't heard that. Wasn't he also in Barefoot in the Park, or am I confusing him? Wasn't he in
You are
the TV?
confusing him. That was Robert Redford.
No, I'm talking about the TV version with Meredith Baxter Birney.
Oh, I didn't know there was a TV version at
It
all
lasted about three episodes.
until she came out.
You pretty much, yeah. I mean, that's
No, it was
about
before
it.
it was long before she came out, wasn't
Well,
it?
But
she
guys-
was married to David Burney, and she said that he was a very physically and emotionally abusive guy. To which
No.
Burney said, "The bitch is punch drunk."
Man.
Oh God! But how about Charles? If you want to talk about guys who had been dead, Charles Grodin, you know the film I'm talking about. When he's sitting there breaking up with the newlywed wife,
The Heartbreak Kid.
Heartbreak Kid.
and trying
You,
to get her to
you
eat
know
the
you know
last
who that
slice of
woman was,
cheesecake.
right?
No,
That was
Wasn't it?
Sybil Shepherd, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Sybil
that-
Shepherd.
No,
no,
now
it
that's the
was-
one he fell for.
Okay.
His wife, who he dumped, was
Yeah.
Jenny Berlin, who I believe was Elaine May's daughter.
Oh,
Sounds about right. Didn't Elaine May direct that? The first one,
Might
I think
have.
she did.
I have a very dear friend who was her assistant. And when I think I told you this, when the Manson murders took place, she told my friend, "You're not staying at home tonight. You're staying at my place. You cannot stay alone." No,
Hmm.
no. I'll tell you what she was great in. Elaine May, Small Time Crooks.
Oh yes, yes, with the Woody Allen film, right? She was great
Yes.
in that. Yes.
Now that's Jeff Bridges
And
and Sybil Shepherd in Last
in
Picture Show.
in that wonderful scene where he finally takes her maidenhood, you thought I was going to say something else, and they come out of the hotel and he's all preening because the first time around didn't go so well, and she's looking at him like, "Well, you didn't even do it right." My mother let me see this movie. I had to watch this movie with her and my grandmother. They were in the front seat of the car at the drive-in
Spicy.
theater. And my mother was like, the kids, they get what they get, and my grandmother's hair was just standing on end. And I'm like, what are they talking about? And she's like,
Heartbreak Kid, directed by Elaine May, written by, get this, Neil Simon and Bruce J. Friedman.
Wow. By the way,
yes,
the best scene in that movie is when Eddie Albert is trying to bribe Charles Grodin into not marrying his daughter. And he offers him $20,000, and he looks at him and goes, "Do you know what $20,000 looks like? Do you know what it feels like?" And then they get married, and then you see this look. It was a great movie. You see this look on Charles Grodin's face. He's going to dump her.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know that.
He enjoys the chase more than the catch.
Right. Well, there's a similar scene about the money, though, in Godfrey Cambridge in The Watermelon Man. Because remember at the end when he...
Estelle Parsons?
Yes. I mean, how many people have even seen that movie? But there's that end where they're trying to buy him out of the neighborhood.
Well, in my era, quite a few. But, that's after your time.
Want an Estelle Parsons story? I just heard a great one.
Oh,
Sam probably heard this one. But her husband walked out on her after they had twins. Have you heard this before?
Nice.
Sam? Yeah. She had twin daughters, and then she met another guy after her kids were like teenagers, something like that. And they lived together 10 years. And they eventually got married and adopted a daughter. She has 28 years between her oldest two twins and her youngest daughter.
Wow.
That kid that was adopted went through hell.
Yeah.
And I say that without knowing that for a fact, but I'm telling you, my brother was 20 and a half years older than me.
Yeah.
We were close. We were about as close as California and DC.
Well, you know what? My son is 39. My daughter is 17, and they're about as close as California and Detroit because that's where they live.
Is that Jack Guilford?
That is, but guess the movie.
I want some Cracker Jack now.
That's again from The Offer.
Did you ever see him do oatmeal?
Yes.
Say again.
Pea soup.
Did you see Jack Guilford do oatmeal?
Didn't he do pea soup?
He would do a space as oatmeal poppy.
Yep.
I just remember him in the Cracker Jack commercials.
Is that the only thing I can think of is Cocoon?
Close.
Oh, he was in that.
Not close at all. Save the Tiger.
Oh, another
Jack Lemmon won an Oscar for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That in The Offer, there's this one scene where they're going over various movies. And Tom Hanks' son.
I'm finish that, and I got another story that just brought up another story.
Okay. His son is the dick who's come over to take over the studio, and they go through these movies, and he's just crapping all over them. Chinatown, and he's like, "Save the Tiger? What's this about?" He goes, "It's a prestige project. It's about in the garment. No one wants to see a movie about people who work." Next, and of course we all know that these are movies that have now become part of the American canon. But which I think was a wonderful meditation on just how awful.
My next showbiz story,
yes.
because you mentioned Jack Lemmon, and I already told an Estelle Parsons story. What do they have in common?
Estelle Parsons and Jack Lemmon.
Yep. Never knew this. When I was doing a deep dive, I can't believe I did a deep dive on Estelle Parsons, and I can't believe you brought it up just after the weekend that I was looking this stuff up. But I found out some stuff about Estelle Parsons. She won the Academy Awards for supporting actress in Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah. But what do she and Jack Lemmon have in common?
They both went to the neighborhood playhouse.
They dated each other.
Really?
They grew up in the same town in New Hampshire on the same street. Not just the same town. They grew up on the same street.
That's like Sarah Silverman and Adam Sandler.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's good.
2 Jews from New Hampshire. The only 2.
The only one to say that.
Yeah. Well, the Jews from New Hampshire.
Did Lemmon get a nomination for the Out of Towners, or I can't remember if he got either.
I don't think so.
Well, that movie won the Oscar that year for Best Picture.
What did?
The Out of Towners?
Oh, not the Out of Towner. No, I'm thinking of The Apartment. Never mind.
No, The Apartment did, yes.
Yeah.
With Jack Lemmon.
Yep. Now, The Out of Towners, that was Elaine May too, wasn't it?
Yeah,
wasn't
I
she
think so.
Out of Towners?
Oh, well, Mark, you're going to have...
We're running all of our film trivia together here. This is kind of cool.
Sorry. All of us old... For all you young comedians, this is what it's about. I just want you guys to know that.
Yeah, when you're in your 60s, this is what you'll be talking about.
But enough of me.
Yeah. You'll be talking about Ryan Reynolds and
and Megatron and all the other cartoon characters that have been revivified over and over again into some goddamn computer generated schlock. They slip up on the screen, and somehow or another you're going to throw your money at it like you're supposed to. You little drone, do as you're told. Now,
if I can throw a little dirt on somebody,
yes.
Am I the only one who, when he watches Ryan Reynolds, my gaydar goes off?
I think all those guys, the gaydar. Well,
nope. Well, yeah. Jason, your gaydar's going. Your gaydar needs to go in for some repair.
Well, I did get mucho grouse wrong, so I mean, there's that. But I got to admit, but. I don't got gaydar vibes from Ryan Reynolds at all.
Well, okay.
There's the things that someone might do. If there's
whatever.
If that's what you really think. By the way, the funniest thing I've seen today, other than Donald Trump saying that they're performing transgender surgery on elementary school kids.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
let him talk. Let him talk. I want to see Kamala Harris do her best prosecutorial rebuttal.
Do you remember when she cross-examined Kavanaugh?
Yeah,
she ripped his ass.
He cried.
He did cry. You know why?
He still got sworn in.
You know why? Because they cut off his beer. That's not right. I need a Jenny Cream Ale. By the way, isn't Pontiac, Michigan, an area now? I'm asking because I don't know. An area now where there's a significant number of Muslims.
You're thinking really? No. It's
Dearborn.
It's more Latino. It's Dearborn, and then Hamtramck. Hamtramck is called Bengaltown because of all the people from.
But it's not Dearborn.
Dearborn is the Arab town. Yes, Lebanese and some Somalis and some. What's the one in the south of the?
Don't forget the Chaldeans, or they'll come to your house.
Oh, the Chaldeans and
the calzone for the Italians.
The Persians.
The Chaldeans
are the calzone. There we go.
Yeah, the calzones. Yeah, take the Persian, leave the calzone.
We'd like to say that was our host Mark saying that.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, this has nothing to do with politics, I swear. Okay. But has anybody seen? They wanted to interview Lara Trump. Okay, they wanted to interview her, and her assistant said she can't right now. She's in a very busy meeting. Do you know what she was doing?
Ordering from Burger King on the to-go menu.
She was practicing. This is in the middle of an election year, right? She's practicing a song to record so she can sell the song. She's the
like
the
it.
chairperson of the Republican Party,
Yep.
and I wouldn't care if her last name was Biden. That's not what this is about. You don't do that. I'm sorry. First of all, she can't sing for shit. But the second thing is, you don't do that. You know,
Well,
if there's a
well,
reporter there to
We're
interview
getting back.
you,
We're getting back to Susan's poem now because I think they need her song because every other artist is denying the use of their songs. Isaac Hayes'
15
family
songs, 15
Yeah.
times Trump did that.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
have
so they're
offered them the
denying
use
of
of
their
our
songs.
theme song with an enhanced royalty. So if they do use our theme song, guys, we will all see a royalty payment if you're willing
Excellent.
to consent.
Oh God, hear my prayer. Did you know I have a check? I have a check from Screen Actors Guild, which I keep for 2 cents.
I got one.
And what they should do, and this would be fine with me. Call me, and say, listen, we have a check here. We're going to send out to you. It's for 2 cents. Do you want it? No, because it costs more money to type it out and mail it. Don't do it. Save a little money, please. You know,
There's a bar.
2
There's a
cents.
bar in. There's a bar in Los Angeles, or maybe is it Los Angeles or is it up in Burbank? But anyway, I think it's Burbank. But it's called Residuals, and everybody that's got like a less than 10-cent check nails it to the board. They tack it to the board. It's just all these people and all the residual checks over there at the bar called Residuals.
There was a comic I worked with in Florida who's, thank you God, I can't remember his name. His entire one of his walls had nothing but rejection notices from publishers.
Wow,
I love it.
And
That's cool.
I said, how many rejection notices do you have? He goes, 42. And the other comic I'm with says, I think it's time to take a hint. He said, 20, okay, 25, 42, maybe you
Yeah.
can't write.
Yeah,
I wonder how many of those 42 actually got read.
This is what I think.
Past
First
the
of
first
all,
couple of paragraphs.
The publisher didn't read them. His
Right.
assistant did.
Right.
Okay.
Well, even not an assistant, they give those to college interns. They'll bring in.
That's fine. But what I'm
college
saying is, if it has any promise at all, they'll move it up the chain. They'll move it up the line. They will.
Well, didn't
But-
Shandling have a spec script already read or for Sanford and Son or before he was on Carson?
Oh, I don't know. It could be.
Because I mean,
he was
like
a writer. He was already a writer for Sanford
Yeah.
and Son before he got Carson. So that
And I was listening to Martin Mull talk about the first time that he ran into Steve Martin, and everyone was just kind of avoiding Steve, not because they were a bit intimidated by him, because they knew he'd been a writer on the Smothers Brothers. And
Right.
Steve's down there sort of tuning up his banjo, and Mull skips past him, and he goes, "Oh, and hi, hello there." And they were all doing the sort of that thing like you said with when they had Elvis Costello on Shandling's show. Everyone was treating him like the
Oh,
big
that was
star.
great. The best line is when Elvis Costello goes, y'all treated me. I'm not going to do his English accent. Y'all treated me like shit. Okay. No one would talk to me. No one would associate with me. Well, I left you a little something in the dressing room. It's been a pleasure. And Artie and Gary Artie and Larry go into the dressing room, and it's just a mess. It's just destructive. And Larry goes, Jesus Christ, I haven't seen shit like this since we had Angela Lansbury on. And I thought, could there be a better name to have used than her? Could there possibly?
No.
Angela Lansbury laid waste to the bitch.
A contributing writer on that show?
Say again?
Did Gary contribute? Was he a contributing writer on his show?
Oh, I'm sure.
Everybody that has a show like that is a contributing writer.
Lauren Michaels gets a writing credit for Saturday Night Live.
Jerry Seinfeld got a credit all the time on the Seinfeld show. Everybody.
But
Tim
I mean,
Allen
is he actually sitting in the writer's room going over ideas, or?
You know what? At some point, they got to make one meeting a week. especially since they star in the show. Tim Allen sat in on a lot of the writers' meetings over at Home Improvement. I mean, that was just part of.
I understand that. I mean, it's his show.
Roseanne Barr more than any of them. Roseanne Barr, in fact, the story on Roseanne Barr was she went because she wanted to fire somebody every day.
Well, the story I love about her is Matt Williams quit her show.
Right? Quit. Was it really quit?
No, he quit. No, he actually quit.
Okay.
And he said, "I've decided to leave the Roseanne Barr show. My family and I are going to take a much-needed rest and vacation in Beirut."
Well, you know what? The following season, after her show debuted, he created the Tim Allen tool.
That's right. And I'll tell you something else.
He didn't last very long on that show. You know who ended up being the showrunner on both Tim's shows was Matt Berry. Remember him from Denver?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And by the way, one of the things about Roseanne, though. What was that guy's name? God, I cannot remember this guy's name. He was either married or living with a woman who was a horror show. Oh, God.
Well, that be Roseanne's husband, right?
Tom Arnold?
No. What was his name? This guy was a nice guy. His wife was a horror show.
I'm trying to think of nice guys that worked for Roseanne.
He lived in Studio City.
Yeah, okay. Hold on. Was he bald? Blonde and bald?
No, not at the time. No, he had brown hair.
Wife was a horror show. You're not really narrowing it down there.
I don't know. It's hard for me to. I can't remember his name.
Worked on the Roseanne show, though.
Absolutely. Anyway,
I don't want to mention any names of people I know from the Roseanne show, just because I don't want to insult their wives in case it's not.
But the thing that was interesting was they all said the same thing. She treats you like shit, but she pays you really, really well.
I think Greg Fitzsimmons said something similar about working on Ellen's show.
But they said the money was amazing on the Roseanne show.
Yeah.
And not only that, Roseanne always had 25 plus writers on the show that she paid very well. There were writers that would contribute maybe 2 lines a season and make a living off of it,
handsomely.
Yeah.
I was talking about Martin Mull again because obviously the man's passed, so I just watched some interviews and he was talking about Fernwood Tonight and America Tonight, and they were asking him, was it scripted? Was this improv? He goes, it started out being very tightly scripted. Harry Shearer was one of the writers on the show, and they thought they could do 2 episodes a day, 10 episodes a week, and they very quickly ran out of everything. And that's when they learned that what they could do was they could sort of give these guys bullet points and then allow them to sort of riff.
Allow them to improv,
Mull and Fred Willard. Of course, by then, maybe there's some chemistry between the two. They have an understanding of where they're at and where they want to go.
Well, Willard was trained as an improv performer.
Yes.
Mull was trained by Willard. So,
Fred Willard, I guess, and Robert Klein started out together. So I was listening to Robert Klein talk about how one of their first auditions they went to, that's where he met Fred Willard. And of course, within 2 years of starting in the business, Robert Klein has his own summer replacement show on CBS. So,
I went back and watched an old episode of Kevin Pollak's podcast where he had Martin Mull on after Martin died, and I remember remembering it fondly, so I went back and watched it. But Martin Mull and Kevin were reminiscing about, because Kevin was writing for Roseanne at the time.
Okay.
That Martin Mull joined the Roseanne show, and they were talking about how every comic in that writer's room was a huge Martin Mull fan because they were all like high schoolers or college students in the 70s when all of his albums came out. And that's what he was known for, was those comedy albums that he did. And Martin Mull, they were talking about how they were trying to compliment him, and Martin Mull thought that they were trying to insult him. Because they're trying to talk. They're trying to talk to him in the character that he did on Fernwood Tonight, and he goes, "Oh, that's what you guys were doing."
I'm trying to listen.
Oh,
but
now
my
I'm complimented. I was insulted then.
I'm trying to listen, but I can't take my eyes off Catherine Ross.
Oh, no
Wasn't
kidding.
she amazing back then? I mean,
Oh my God! She's been married to forever.
Mr. Catherine Ross?
Sam Elliott.
Oh,
Sam Elliott.
okay. The mustache. All right.
Yeah.
What I love about this scene though is how after they flash that smile, then all of a sudden they just go to like that deadpan. You know,
Yeah, in the back of the
yeah,
bus.
yeah.
In the back of the bus. Yeah.
Yes.
Those are
Yeah,
great.
yeah, it's kind of like the caption should have read, maybe not so much.
Yeah.
That's
I
you know
mean,
that's
like,
another one of the great shots in American cinema history.
It
That
is.
last shot in The Graduate. Yep.
Mike Nichols.
Yeah, Mike Nichols did.
Yeah.
Another back of the bus scene which just rips my heart out. Of course, Midnight Cowboy, again, Dustin Hoffman, dies.
When he dies,
Yeah, I mean, because he was not a nice character. He was not a likable character. He was, in the words of other people, a character you hated to love, but yet you get used to him by the end of by the end of it, you feel bad about the whole thing. And
that I'm walking here, that was
walking
improv.
here. Yeah, but it works. I mean, he was able to get in character. I mean, I don't know. You guys look around. You tell me, do we see a lot of actors that are of this caliber these days? Because I don't. Maybe I'm just old man who doesn't remember names so good these days.
I think Keanu Reeves is older than today's actors, but I say Keanu Reeves of the newer generation is a good actor.
He's a good actor. He's competent.
I think Leonardo DiCaprio is a great actor.
I think
when
he's
has
a good
director. When DiCaprio's is like oh God, I'm trying to think of the guy who was in Night of the Hunter, Mitchum. If you have a good
Robert
director,
Mitchum.
because with Mitchum, if you had a good director, you got a good performance. Ryan O'Neal was like that. You had to really have a director who knew how to direct. And with DiCaprio, it's like that the same way. You have
Larry King said the worst interview he ever had was with Robert Mitchum.
He was probably stoned.
No, that's not why. He said, well, he might have been, but he said this was the interview. So I am told that when you work with a director, you feel it's important for him to pull the performance out of you. Is that true? Well, it depends on the script.
Oh my God.
Now, when Al Pacino, blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, he's very good. It's like there was a scene in a movie with Burt Reynolds where he plays a substitute teacher and he's talking to the class and he finishes, he thinks, all right, that'll be the end of the class. And he goes, are there any questions? And a girl raises her hand and goes, we've only been here 5 minutes. And he looks up at the clock. He goes, son of a bitch. That was called Starting Over. And there was a great line in that movie.
Starting Over. Yeah. Who was the actress? Who
Jill Clayburgh.
That was
Is that the one where he has the terminal?
That was one of his best.
There's a great scene in that movie where he's in bed with her and they're kind of rubbing on each other and she's moaning and he goes, take it easy. I'm really not that good.
Yes. Oh, God. Oh.
That was a terrific movie. Oh, and Candice Bergen was in it.
God, doesn't she steal the scene just by showing up? I love Candice Bergen. She doesn't have to do anything. She can just sit there, read the newspaper.
She says in that movie, she goes, I had what I consider a kind of orgasm. And I went, if that woman was in my life, I would find a window to jump out of because nothing could hurt more. Smashing into the ground would not hurt more. Well, there was that line, that great line in Manhattan when Diane Keaton says, Van Gogh. And, and Woody Allen goes, Van Gogh, like an Arab. Another great line in that movie is when she says, I had sort of an orgasm. He goes, I don't know. The worst one I ever had was right on the money.
No, wasn't that the Michael O'Donoghue line?
Oh, I don't know, but Woody Allen said it. I don't know if
I know Woody Allen said the right on the money line, but it wasn't Diane Keaton.
I have no idea.
I think it was Michael O'Donoghue's line where they're talking about his idea for the film was that the guy screws the girl and she's
Excuse me.
he doesn't say the line. The girl with her says the line. He says the movie plot is that he screws so well that after they have orgasms they die, and then the girl he's with goes, my therapist, I had an orgasm once. My therapist told me it was the wrong kind. And then Woody Allen says that line.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't know. The worst one ever. Also in the movie, it was a quasi musical, Alan Alda, a Woody Allen movie. Alan Alda and Goldie Hawn are a married couple. Everyone says I love you.
Okay.
Everyone says I love you. And they have a son. This is so funny, with apologies to Jason. They have you'll see why. They have a son who's a real right winger, right?
Oh no.
And they're talking and he passes out. The kid passes out. And the doctor says, what happened was he wasn't getting enough oxygen to his brain. And so we've resuscitated him. And now he's a liberal. And now they go, now he'll be thinking clearly.
I remember when I came out to my parents as a Republican, my mother denied her parentage of me. She said, "You did not spring from my loins. You're a different child. You were they confused you at birth in the delivery room."
Spring from my loins. What is she filming the story of Ruth? Jesus. Jesus.
You don't understand hillbilly women there.
Oh, by the way, David Tell, great line. He goes, my father was a sergeant in the Army. He was a very strict guy. When my brother told me he was gay, he said, go outside and walk it off.
Outside, walk it off. There we go.
Throw a little mud on it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there was a great line in Life magazine about high school football in Texas, which is, as you all know, a religion.
Yes.
And there's a
kid.
kid.
They have high school stadiums for football in Texas.
They have redshirt high school players.
Yeah, I know they have college. They have stadiums for high school.
Of course they do.
Football.
Yeah, of course. So this kid, it shows his calf, and there's blood coming from his calf. And he says, I went to the coach and said, I got to sit down. And the coach said, why do you have to sit down? He goes, well, because my leg is bleeding. And the coach says, that's 3 feet from your heart. You ain't dead. Get your ass out there.
We'll
try
be
that one.
Our dear friends from Texas this weekend in Ann Arbor. So we're going to get a little we're going to get a little taste of that Texas love. So I can't
who's
wait.
That?
This Saturday. This Saturday, the Longhorns are playing the Wolverines, and
that's going to be a hell of a game.
It's going
to be a hell of a game.
Man,
absolutely, that's going to be. By the way, I have never seen a group of sports writers faster to, and I understand why, faster to throw dirt on a body than Florida State. Oh man!
Oh boy!
Oh, did you hear about that? Oh, here's something we need to talk about. Do you hear about the kid who made the video? I don't know if it was Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or whatever, but he said, if Boston College beats Florida State, I will take a shit and eat it.
Oh no, he didn't.
We're gonna
he
have
didn't.
to. I'm gonna have to.
So now, wait a minute. The story's not over yet, because there is no social media presence for this kid anywhere. He closed all of his accounts and got rid of everything that he could, and so now the mission of the internet is to go out there and find this guy.
Leave the child alone. Oh my God! Please leave this idiot alone. He'll do something like rub it on his mother's head and then kill himself. You got to. Well, this is literally let sleeping dog shit. Please, oh man, this kid's. By the way, I'll tell you what's hysterically funny is that, last year Florida State went 13-0.
Okay.
And people, as you know, people were really pissed off. They didn't get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Now, are they 12 teams this year? I think they.
Yes, they're 12.
Well, they'll
and
make
so
it.
and so a team with 2 losses could get in.
Yep.
But I think this is hysterical. So Florida was like, Florida State's like, yeah, we should have made it. Seriously, we had a great shot. So in a bowl game, they played Clemson. Was it Clemson? No, Georgia. They played Georgia that year that they were 13-0, and Georgia beat them 63-3.
Yes. Yeah.
63, which kind of put the kibosh on.
So Georgia has a better argument for making the playoffs than Florida State did.
Georgia has lost 2 games in 3 years. They're phenomenal.
Georgia they're a football machine down there.
And by the way,
although you know what, Alabama sends more to the pros than Georgia does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And by the way, Dabo Swinney, who is the coach of Clemson,
yep,
he refuses to use the portal.
Yeah, because everybody's just going to come to him first, I guess, right? All the good players are going to come to him.
As a game man from the 70s?
I think you know what it is? I'll tell you what I think it is. And I understand this. You can't keep track. It's too much.
Yeah.
But that's what you have staffs for.
I would just say as a game man from the 70s, use the portal.
I'm sure
and something different.
This whole thing with Michigan, whether they were stealing signals and stuff, they didn't even have those people out there at the other games until the NIL and the transfer portal started.
Of course, they didn't need to.
They didn't need to. So wait a minute. Now you're going to Ohio State games. You're going to Georgia games. You're going to all these places, and you're checking out these players, and you're getting the signals too. I mean, if you're going to be scouting players to steal from them during the off season, you might as well steal some signs too.
I saw I don't know if there was a YouTube that showed a guy, a comedian, and they didn't say his name, unfortunately, and he was doing a gig in or near Columbus, Ohio, and he did a line that was so brilliant, I thought, but I don't know if he got out alive. He said, "You know what the big cheer is now in Columbus? We're number." Hold on, wait a minute. Give me what?
Couldn't happen to a nicer school.
Do you know that Ohio State's coach now has 4 losses, and they're to Michigan,
and his job is on the line.
His job is on the line. In 4 seasons, he has 4 losses, but because they're
his job is on the line.
His job is on the line. Yeah, isn't that amazing?
That's the tragedy of college football.
Well, hey, we got 20 teams. We got 20 teams in the Big Ten now. So,
yeah,
including Maryland.
And
Southern Cal.
Southern. How did Southern Cal do against LSU? They beat them, right?
How did Maryland get into the Big Ten?
We needed somebody. We needed somebody near Washington, and they had a basketball team.
The basketball is what they bring to the table.
And Rutgers is near New York, so that's how Rutgers got in. And the team we should have taken is Pitt. I wish we would have taken Pittsburgh. Listen, I'm the Big Ten. I said we. I wanted Notre Dame. I wanted Pittsburgh. They would have been good. I think we could steal Kentucky. We can get Kentucky out of.
Here's a great trivia question.
Okay.
There are 4 teams that don't use the portal.
All right, Clemson, we know.
Right. Name any of the other 3. If you think about it, you'll know immediately. If you think about it.
The Citadel. I don't know.
Army, Navy, and the Air Force Academy.
Oh, there you go. They can't use it.
That's right.
Oh, there you go. Oh, Lily von Stutt. Oh.
He's too much man for you. I know. You're
baby, that's my arm.
Lunge it. Feel. You Teutonic twat.
I'm tired of love.
Going and coming and going and always.
Is it true what they say about you people? Oh, it's true.
It's true.
Baby, that's my arm.
Come on. Madeline Kahn.
Is that the
and
10-gallon hat, or are you just happy to see me?
Tell me, cowboy, are you in show business? No, then get your
No.
fakakta feet off my stage.
God, what a great movie! Did I tell you?
But
I know I told Sam this. I don't know if I told you guys or not, but 2 or 3 weeks ago they had the 50th anniversary of Blazing Saddles being released, and they showed it at the Peacock Theater, a 7,100 seat theater in downtown Los Angeles. Right.
right.
They show the film. Mel Brooks hosted the event. Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
100 years old or thereabouts.
Yeah, 98 years old. Yeah. After the movie was over, he did 88 minutes of question and answer.
He's my hero.
He is my freaking hero.
They're going to have a showing of it at a theater in New York. Not that big by far, but they're going to show it in New York. And I'm thinking his son Max lives in New York, so maybe he'll show up for it.
Oh God, when is it? I see if I can be in New York then. When is it?
September 17th and 18th.
Yeah, no, I got something.
I believe that's right.
So, do you think that's a better movie with Pryor in the lead role or not? It's a one.
No,
absolutely
not.
No. I was arguing that myself. That Cleavon Little played that role.
You need a handsome leading man.
Yep. Cleavon
Little.
Cleavon Little. It was a Broadway actor too. I mean, he had chops. You know what I mean? He was a good actor.
You need a guy sitting on that saddle with Gucci, who looks like he belongs on that. But you know, it was a great line in that movie. You understand why they're this way? They're simple folk. They're country folk. You know, morons.
Yeah.
And then he cracked up. He cracked up on that joke. I love that.
And I also love. Listen, Marshall. Sorry about the up yours nigger thing.
Yes.
And you will have the good taste not to mention this to anyone, won't you?
That I spoke to you.
Yes.
By the way,
Taggart, go into town and get a shitload of dimes.
I don't think the N-word is what would stop that from being made today. I think it's the rape references.
Well, I'm about to say that Brooks got into all kinds of trouble because of the fires, the campfire scene, where they're all
the farts.
Yeah, because he said that had never been done in cinema before.
That had never been done before. You're right.
What in the wide world of sports is going on
here?
I'll tell you what. Why don't we kill their firstborn? Too Jewish.
Corman giving that line too was great.
When they're asking the black guys to sing a song for them and they start going into some Cole Porter.
Yes.
I get a kick out of you.
Yes.
Some get no kick from cocaine.
and Slim Pickens rolls in and going, y'all jump around like a bunch of Kansas City faggots.
How about the hangman, Kenneth Mars? I'm sorry, sir, but I'm all backed up today.
Again,
and one of the guys,
and the guy he was about to hang was in a wheelchair.
Was in a wheelchair. And one guy was on a horse.
Yes.
The
horse had a noose around its neck too. That was hilarious. Oh my God, that was funny. Oh.
And Alex Karras, Mongo just pawned in a game of life.
Hey, you can't park that animal there.
That was amazing.
The trick horse, which Lee Marvin said that he owed his Oscar for Cat Ballou to a trick horse.
To that horse leaning. By the way, there's a big controversy. Lee Marvin won for that. You know who else was nominated that year?
Was it
Rod Steiger for The Pawnbroker?
Oh man! And they gave it
and the year that 1972? What movie we're talking? Jack Lemmon won for Save the Tiger. You know who else was nominated that year? Al Pacino for Serpico.
Oh
well, yeah.
And Art Carney won for
Cat Dancer.
Harry and Tonto.
You know what else was nominated that year? Al Pacino again for Dog Day
Afternoon, which was an amazing. Sidney Lumet. Why he doesn't get remembered? Again, Norman Jewison is another one. Doesn't seem to get remembered but I don't understand. His films are amazing.
The great movie he did was, which never gets enough credit for the talent pool, was Moonstruck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Joseon.
Yes. Didn't Cher
Oh,
get the
man.
Academy Award for that? Didn't Cher win the award for
Olympia
Best Actress?
Dukakis one and
Olympia
Cher.
Dukakis one.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Well,
And by the way, something I'll always hate Dave Chappelle for, besides the fact he punches down on people, you know, he makes fun of transgenders and lesbians.
What did Chappelle
Yeah.
do now?
Well, Sam, what's he done now?
Yeah, what's he done?
He goes, I don't understand. Cher won an Oscar. Cher. Oh, I'm sorry, bitch. Really? She was also nominated for one before that. Go fuck yourself.
Well,
I
she
tell you
won
what,
one for Mask, didn't she? Or again?
No,
Yeah.
she was no. She was nominated.
She was not. She didn't win for
Well,
that one.
she deserved one for that movie.
What was the great line? Dolly Pellicker.
She's great. She was great in that movie about Silkwood called Silkwood, right? I mean,
Yeah,
was
she was
not-
in that too.
and also the movie she did with Dennis Quaid and John Mahoney
oh yes.
and
Oh.
Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
We're going there right now. We're going to Google right now, but we've only got 4 minutes left. So let's see if we can get, with my slow computer, we can get this here.
What are we looking for?
The movie that mentioned that she was in with John Mahoney and Liam Neeson.
Okay. Most quotable baseball manager: Billy Martin, who you see, or Earl Weaver? You decide.
Casey Stengel.
Casey
Yes,
Stengel.
Casey Stengel.
You guys are
Casey
going off
Stengel
the
or
board.
Yogi Berra. You bet.
He's going off the board.
The
When
movie
you come
was
to a
called
fork in the road, take it.
Yeah.
You guys have heard Earl Weaver's blow up on a live radio show where he suggests that one of the callers go out and get a dick stuck in her. She'd be a little happier. And he's like, "Coach, we're on air." And he proceeds
Suspect,
to-
1987.
Yes,
Suspect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Philip Bosco, Joe Montana, Cher, Liam Neeson. Who else we got here? John
Dennis
Mahoney,
Quaid.
Dennis Quaid. Yep, that's the film, 1987, Suspect. And we got 2.5 minutes left here. I'll be bringing the music up here pretty soon. So
Here's one for us Detroiters.
oh, Bill Kennedy.
Bill Kennedy.
His
I know.
biggest role was he was the one who lit Ingrid Bergmar's fire in Joan of Arc. He was the executioner in Joan
Yeah,
of Arc.
he was always like third pirate.
If he's going to set something on fire, he should have started with that coat.
If
He
you
was
see the
famous for
show, there
Lindsey
would've been
Nelson called. He wants his outfit back.
Very
Jesus
funny.
Christ.
Very
If
funny.
you-
Haywood Hale Brune called. He wants his coat back.
Joe Franklin called. He wants his glasses back.
Oh, by the way, is there anything funnier than Sarah Silverman going, the great tragedy in my life is I got raped by Joe Franklin?
Didn't she? Wasn't that in the Aristocrat? She said that.
Yes.
Or was it- I thought
Also, another great line. She says, I was raped by a doctor, which for a Jewish girl is somewhat bittersweet.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. All right, well, thanks guys for hanging out with us for an hour. These episodes are getting better, Jason. We got to figure out how to sell this thing.
Yeah, we got to get a little more production on it, but I'll get it.
And there is the great Cloris Leachman for an Oscar-winning performance in Last Picture Show.
Last
in
Picture
one of the
Show.
most
Oh, yeah.
heart-rending scenes ever filmed.
Oh,
Yeah.
the coach's wife.
Yep,
She was
she's been
great.
dead. Yes, she was.
We need
Man.
to, you know,
And Sam the Lion's bastard child has just been run over.
And
in
he
a tree.
won an Oscar.
Oh, Bogdanovich was a genius, absolute genius. And they almost didn't get the movie made because he was shooting in camera and they didn't like it and wanted to fire him. And why is this thing in black and white? And
A lot of directors say they prefer black and white because of the shading.
well, we're
Yeah.
just gonna. These guys are just gonna keep talking.
Create mood and change.
Hi to everybody else. Thanks for joining us Tuesday night. But we'll be back next Monday night at 8 o'clock here on the office. Thank you.
Mark, what does the
Yes,
bottom
Mark.
of your t-shirt say?
Your music's overwhelming everything.
oh dear, we got to get an outro. talk to you, Jack. I'll see if we can get in